I'm Adam Todd, and welcome to Classroom Dynamics, a teacher podcast. I've always believed that the best way to engage students in a 21st century classroom is to immerse them with the transformative tools that will empower each and every one of them to excel in the world that awaits. My goal is to ignite the spark that propels you and your students in an advanced tomorrow, and your journey into that future starts right now. Classroom Dynamics is supported by Logitech. As education continues to evolve, so does Logitech Education, your partner in content creation for the classroom. With Logitech's cutting-edge technology, students not only learn but also become content creators. Whether it's in person or online, Logitech's tools are designed to inspire educators and learners alike. Capture every educational moment in stunning detail and edit, produce, and share your creative journey with ease. Logitech Education, inspiring the next generation of creators. For more, visit logitech.com/education, transforming classrooms one innovation at a time. Introducing the Zone Learn wired headset from Logitech, the headset that's designed for learning and built for schools. Here are a few reasons why Zone Learn is the best headset option for today's students and schools. It's optimized to fit smaller heads with features like soft ear pads, a cushion headband, even weight distribution and micro-articulating ear cups that move in all directions. The audio driver is engineered for speech intelligibility, so spoken lessons come through crystal clear. And the movable boom mic is designed for better vocal clarity. It's durably designed to withstand frequent cleaning and constant wear and tear. My favorite aspect of the Zone Learn headset is that it's fully customizable and sustainable for both the environment and school budgets. The swappable ear pads come in over-ear and on-ear options. The interchangeable cables come in USB-A, USB-C, and audio jack options. This means that the ear pads and cables can be swapped out without replacing the entire headset. Plus, the Zone Learn is backed by a 3-year warranty, making it a smart, long-term investment for schools. Get your students into the learning zone with an elevated headset experience. Learn more at logitech.com/zonelearn.
For over 20 years, Higher Ground has designed functional technology protection, helping students to work or learn anytime, anywhere. I'm Mark, president of Higher Ground, and I want to share with you how you can get a free sample of any of our rugged shells, sleeves, or clear backpacks. Visit hggear.com/sample and use your school's email and address. One thing, don't tell Alex because he'll be stuck with all the paperwork. Request yours and see for yourself how Higher Ground can help save your students and school downtime and money. Just remember, don't tell Alex.
Mark, what are all these sample requests filling my inbox?
Welcome to Classroom Dynamics, the podcast where we get into the exciting world of technology and education. Hi everybody, I'm your host Adam Todd, and today on the show we're honored to feature a special guest from NYSCATE, Corporate and Member Engagement Coordinator Sean McDonough. Now, for those of you who may be unfamiliar with NYSCATE, NYSCATE is New York State's Association for Computers and Technologies in Education, a vital organization that helps educators leverage technology to inspire student success. Sean's role at NYSCATE involves connecting educators and industry partners, fostering collaborations that drive innovation in schools. Today on the show, we'll explore how NYSCATE's annual conference brings educators together, showcasing cutting-edge tools, workshops, and discussions on the future of technology in the classroom. Stay tuned as we learn more about how NYSCATE is shaping the future of education through technology. And it's all next on Classroom Dynamics, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Teachers, are you looking for resources that spark creativity and inspire learning? Look no further than Highly Motivated on Teachers Pay Teachers. From comprehensive lesson plans and interactive lab books to engaging informational test prep passages, Highly Motivated has everything you need to keep your students motivated and excited to learn. Whether it's a quick activity or a full unit, these resources are designed to save you time and help students succeed. Highly Motivated, motivating teaching resources that engage and inspire. Search Highly Motivated on Teachers Pay Teachers today. He's the Corporate and Member Engagement Coordinator for the New York State Association for Computers and Technologies in Education, and he's here to discuss everything about the organization and the annual conference. It is my pleasure to welcome Sean McDonough to Classroom Dynamics. Really nice to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thanks so much, Adam. I'm grateful to be with you and your listeners because it's a great podcast. So I'm just thrilled that we can kind of share some of the upcoming special things we have here in New York at NYSCATE.
I can't wait to go. I'm going myself, my second year in a row doing this. But before we even get into all the great stuff, there's a lot of great stuff coming up this year, a lot of excitement around the conference. Before we get started, just explain to everyone what your role with NYSCATE is and what the organization's mission is all about.
Sure, thanks. Yeah, I serve as the corporate relations manager and member engagement coordinator. But I've been involved in the EdTech space for over 30 years, both in the private sector, public sector, state government, in addition to working at school districts and educational service agencies. What I try to do within my work at NYSCATE is to kind of branch that connection of our corporate members to really work with our active members that are educators. They could be principals, instructional coaches, teachers, superintendents, directors of technology, to find best ways of patterns and practices to use programming services that help kids enhance their learning. And that's at the heart of what our NYSCATE is about. We really are about how do we transcend teaching and learning with technology, not just technology for tech's sake.
Right, exactly. I think that's usually right. The biggest concern everyone has is using it versus using it the right way.
Without a doubt, yeah.
NYSCATE plays a crucial role in integrating technology into classrooms across New York State and even beyond. What are some of the most exciting trends in EdTech that you've seen emerge at recent NYSCATE conferences?
The last couple of years, I think you could look at it maybe pre-pandemic to post-pandemic has really been the evolution of one-on-one personalized learning as we all went through that, rough transition, over 4 years ago, trying to then get devices and resources. What NYSCATE has been at its heart to do is to provide rich and effective professional development for our members. That, again, back to our heart of what we're doing, it's not tech for tech's sake. It really is, how do I focus in on academic standards and areas, knowing that I'm going to use different technology resources and tools to help make those concepts, better for kids to understand and demonstrate proficiency. I think the last couple of years we've seen, in addition to how we've, increased the amount of systems, the impact it's taken on networks and ecosystems, but we have had a strong impact of data privacy. New York has a pretty strident law, Ed Law 2D. It's one of the top data privacy laws in the country that affects any company that's using third-party data. That was a strong movement for a number of years. And I think the good part about it is NYSCATE has helped our corporate members and our education members understand what the law is about and how we can then work and then make sure that you're using data and resources from companies that are effective for what you want to do in analyzing data, but do so in a way that's safe and secure. And the other big issue right now that's so big has been AI. We've seen that, I think, in the last couple of years for sure, but the implosion of how we've seen people that are looking at ways that they want to then take a look at generative age learning or any large language models of how that's going to impact on different tools and programs. There always was that fear that people thought, oh, kids are going to cheat if they're using that. And I think we saw some of that early on, maybe down your way in New York City early on, but a lot of people now looked and said, no, there are better ways that we can do that. And I think a big thing we're seeing now, and we're going to showcase it at the conferences here, is how do we best utilize AI, effectively, equitably, and efficiently?
So what is your big takeaway? Let's piggyback off of that idea, because I think it's a valid point, and it's a very, it's a topical discussionary point, right? Everyone wants to know how to actually navigate this whole realm of AI. So what is your biggest takeaway from the past year with AI and how it kind of just appeared out of nowhere almost and took over everything, right? That's what it felt like. It just like appeared. Here it was. Here's AI, go. And
Yep.
Everyone is now trying to figure it out, right? It's just that it's impacting the educational world and the space bigger and better than I think anyone ever imagined. And it's very Star Trek-like. What are some of those big takeaways? How does that affect everything?
First, we understand AI is not going to replace the part of a good teacher or good administrator, but there are ways that we can then best utilize AI to enhance critical thinking and different concepts of collaboration, communication, whatever you want it to be for students, because there are tools that they use. I use ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, all the different tools that are there because it can help me be better, a more succinct communicator, a more effective writer, but it's not going to do it all for me at that level. But it's just like we saw in EdTech in the 90s and in the early 2000s, where there was that transformative ways that teaching and learning with the internet. I think same is happening then with the way we're using AI tools. But how do we do that in the guise of effectively matching digital citizenship and matching the understanding of, okay, this has got to be an effective way, but it needs to be done in a way that's ethically done, connected as well.
Do you foresee down the line New York State and even other states jumping in on the mandate to teach how to use AI effectively, and even teaching kids and teachers how to prompt effectively to get what they want out of it without it doing everything for them?
I'm always cautious, and maybe this is my time when I used to work for the State Department of Ed, to be something that's mandated, because as a local control state, we may not see that come through. But even the sense, especially with New York's new computer science and digital fluency standards that have been fully adopted this year, I think there are strong ways that those standards that do address some of the ways we're going to use those tools can be effective ways to then teach kids and make sure it gets to the heart of what they should be looking to then learn. I mean, it's going to be in some ways a really strong vocational skill that students are going to have to then learn about how they channel through data and resources, especially as we add more in AI beyond text and audio to visuals to other areas that can be, super, super helpful, but are also some for super scary. Depends on how we do with some of the fake outcomes that AI is doing.
Right. No, that's a great point too. So let's go into the conference now, right? So for educators who are attending the conference for the very first time, they've never gone to the NYSCATE conference before. They really don't know what to expect. What can you tell them in terms of workshops, presentations, networking opportunities? What are some of those things that they can expect to kind of encounter?
Yeah, first off, I would say wear comfortable shoes, because you're going to be walking around an awful lot and you're going to be seeing and talking with a really great amount of people. And maybe that's been my past, where it said, okay, I don't need to be dressed to the nines, but wear comfortable shoes. Your feet will thank you for that. We're really excited this year. The annual NYSCATE conference, our theme this year is New York State of Mind. And we're going to be celebrating all things that relate to us here in the Empire State. It is November 24th to the 26th. We're at a new location this year. We're at the Turning Stone Resort and Conference Center in Verona, which is just east of Syracuse. It is positioned part of the Oneida Native American Nation. So we're pleased that we can then partner with our folks up there as well. But it's going to be fabulous opportunities of learning from over 180 concurrent sessions. And now go the guise of K-12 to higher ed to areas of STEM, AI, how we're doing areas of robotics, even back to the simple areas. Well, I shouldn't say simple, but core areas of what you want to do, say in ELA and math. But what would you be doing by using some interactive panels and making that whole type of collaborative nature fit back in? We have over 200 exhibitors that have signed up. And I joke, it's like inviting people to a wedding and they all show up.
They will. They're going to show up, all right?
Yeah. I've had companies that say, we know we want to be part of New York, and Sean, we know that New York NYSCATE is a big part of us. So we're coming to NYSCATE, which is great. It's just, there's going to be a lot of companies there, which are beneficial for us all, because there's a lot of great resources that are out there as well. In addition, we have some fabulous keynote speakers that are coming in from throughout the country. We're going to start off Sunday with Jordan Zimmerman. And you might, for some people might remember, she defines herself as being autistic, but spent many of years being nonverbal in ways, but has worked now in that she is head of product strategy at the Nora Project. And she's going to be really talking about how we look at embracing the inclusive mindset through accessible technology. One of the things we all talk about is all the resources, but what are we doing for not just all our kids, but for especially those with special needs? And so we're really pleased to have her give kind of our opening keynote on that Sunday. Later on Sunday evening, we'll have another presentation that is going to come in from Vincent Benjamin. He is the head of modern work for Microsoft. So as we talk about all the transformations that we're seeing in EdTech, especially in AI, as you know, Microsoft is heavily invested in OpenAI and that work. How does that change that world of work that's occurring? So we're great to have Vincent Benjamin be a part of that. And then we've got two other great keynotes that are occurring. Christina Ishmael, who used to be the former director of the Office of EdTech in Washington, D.C., is now a consultant. She's going to be coming up and speaking on bridging the digital divides. As you know, there's many that have come out from that point. And so we're pleased to have Christina back with us. And then we're going to close out on Tuesday with Nika McGee, who is the Chief Academic Officer at the San Benito ISD school district, just in the lower bottom of Texas, almost near Brownsville, near the U.S.-Mexican border, and really talking about where the data analysis of where we're looking at resources is going to come back. In addition, we have different other panel presentations that are talking about connection within the BOCES and the RICs and the work that they support. And we're really pleased we have a whole bunch of what we call spotlight sessions. And these are areas that we have with a variety of different well-known presenters, including Monica Burns, Carl Hooker, Christina Holzweis, Matt Joseph, Tom Murray, Ken Shelton. I know Ken's going to be doing a large presentation about AI and diversity and how we're ensuring that we're getting that focused on that way. So those events tied in with some great hospitality. Turning Stone is a fabulous location. There's going to be a lot of fun and enjoyable things for you to do in the evenings or throughout the day. But there's just an awful lot of sessions being planned for you of all shapes coming up at NYSCATE.
And I'll do a shameless plug for myself here, because you can even join me along with Logitech. I'll be there. My session is on Sunday, November 24th at 11:30 a.m. I can't wait for this one. It's all talking about just amplifying student voices and the power of content creation. We'll be in the Willow Tower meeting rooms. I can't wait for this. And you're right, you have to wear comfortable shoes.
One area that we're doing too with our corporate members is we conduct focus groups, and these are in-depth sessions that I think you've been a part of them in the past, Adam. It's just they really help our corporate members understand what's of key significance for you as an educator in New York that, hey, I wish your product would do X, or can you add this type of service? Right. So we've been doing focus groups for over 15 years, but there's exceptional times where people are part of that and then can sit down in a 75-minute block of time and really give rich feedback to companies to let them know, hey, these are the type of directions I'd like to see you guys do within your companies or programs. And that's one of the things that we see as a big benefit for our corporate partners that love coming to NYSCATE, is knowing that they have that opportunity to have that deeper discussion with those people.
I absolutely love doing those focus groups. And you're right, I have done some of those in the past, because the people who are in the classroom are the people who you want to hear from. Those are the people that are using the technology. And sometimes the way they see how they're going to use it versus what a company might see, it might be two different things, and there might be a little bit of a disconnect. But when you actually get those teachers in there to give that feedback right then and there, I love your this, but it doesn't do exactly what I want. I wish it could do A, B, and C. And then within hopefully some time, that actually ends up coming to fruition. And it does a lot of the time, which is great, because those companies do take what those teachers are saying and do make it a reality as best as they can.
Yeah, in the past, I worked for an online learning and assessment company, and we brought up our head of product development because we wanted to show them. I used to say, hey, New York is special. So what you're trying to do doesn't a one size fit all. So they needed to get that rich feedback from our educators, innovators, tech directors, so that we could then make a more meaningful decisions about how product and services would fit in for what is a very large and compelling market. This whole state of New York is for many of the EdTech companies. So they know when we're talking, many of them will listen, given the size of New York and the work that's being done.
It's true. And that's the best thing about it, because when you finally have given your feedback and then you see it as an update one day and you're like, wow, that's what I had recommended. That's what I had hoped for. Your excitement as a teacher really does, because sometimes, and we say it all the time, because our podcast is professional development on an EdTech worldwide scale, and how teachers use EdTech in different classrooms, different grades, different schools can vary. But when you get that one tool that everyone says, yes, that's the one I was hoping for, it does make life in the classroom a lot easier.
Yeah. I do want to give it, if you can, it's a special shout out to Microsoft is one of our platinum sponsors and is doing a large pavilion of learning. So is Google. Apple will be there doing presentations. So some of the larger EdTech providers, they know and value the NYSCATE conference and know, and more importantly, they value our members to then be able to then give them those rich learning experiences. So definitely look for that, and know there's a lot of other companies, but let's just say that the big ones will be there with us as well.
That's good. The heavy hitters are good to have, right? So what are you most excited? Let's go personal here. What are you most excited for this year's conference? Are there any specific keynote speakers that you're looking forward to, special events, initiatives that, have never been done before? What should attendees look out for this year? But before you answer that, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll talk more with Sean McDonough and look ahead at this year's conference. We'll be back in just 30 seconds. Don't go anywhere. Every classroom has the potential to be extraordinary, and the Logitech Reach Adjustable Content Camera is your partner in making that happen. With its flexible arm and clear video, you can showcase everything from detailed drawings to live experiments, ensuring every student is engaged and involved. Whether you're teaching in person or online, Logitech Reach helps you connect with your students in a whole new way. Ready to take your lessons further? Visit logitech.com/reach and elevate your classroom to a whole new level. Welcome back to Classroom Dynamics, where today we're talking with Sean McDonough, the Corporate and Member Engagement Coordinator for NYSCATE. Before the break, I asked you what's ahead for this year's NYSCATE conference, what you're looking forward to the most, and what educators who are attending should be on the lookout for. What can you offer to them?
I think the biggest thing we're looking forward to is we're at a new venue. We're going to be, as I say, just up in Verona, just east of Syracuse, so kind of middle of the state. Turning Stone Resort is a fabulous location. The team there has done a wonderful job in kind of getting ready for us to all kind of descend upon them. So I joke, it's great. It's a new location, and it's also a new location. So for those people, I joke, it's not your father's NYSCATE. We're going to be doing something a lot that's involved than what we've done in years past, and that's a good thing. And that's one of the reasons I think the board looked to try to say, hey, let's move and try to find a new location that could be, hopefully, successful for all parts of that. So that's on my personal level, is just getting ready to be part from that. I think as far as presentations go and information, a lot of good sessions on AI, because I think many schools are kind of wondering, how do I develop that right policy? And sometimes do I have to wait for the policy before I develop procedures? But there's some really good discussions. And as we know, the speed of what AI is looking to do is going to be like light speed compared to what we can try to then do in developing what school policies or state policies should be. But we want to be mindful that we're doing it in a safe and secure manner for our students. So I think there's some really good discussions that will go in depth about utilization of AI, but how does it tie back into your policy, whether it's acceptable use or other district ones, because you want to make sure you're using it effectively going forward. I think another key aspect that we have for the evening too is we get to celebrate our members. So every spring, NYSCATE does a series of classroom grants. And we have 10 grant recipients that were awarded this past spring. They will become and be recognized. Many of them will be showcasing the work that they're doing based on the grant monies that they've received from NYSCATE. And also we have special awards. We recognize the Lee Bryant Outstanding Teacher of the Year Award, our Outstanding Leader, who someone would be more of an administrator, and finally our Superintendent of the Year. So those awards will be presented out Sunday evening, but we're really, really excited. And I think it's good. We should celebrate our own and look for when people are involved to then be a part and be recognized by their peers for the outstanding work that they have done and contributed to EdTech in New York.
I love it, right? It's in the middle of the state, so it's pretty much equidistant for everyone. So, right, as the old saying goes, location, 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 right? Well, listen, this has been such an insightful conversation. I love everything. I can't wait for it. I looked forward to it last year. I'm looking forward even more so this year. And, it's clear that as educators embrace new technology, staying mindful of their impact is crucial in the insights on how NYSCATE connects with educators. And I think that's important. And I think you guys do a really great job at that. Like I said, having teachers stay ahead of the curve here with technology is really important. And I can't wait to see the new innovations that this year's event has and what we're going to end up bringing to the classroom. So thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Adam, for the time. Greatly appreciate being part with you today.
Well, for those of you who have been listening, thank you for tuning in today, and make sure that you share what you've learned or any takeaways or reflections that you've had, and tag us on Twitter at Class Dynamics or on Instagram at Classroom Dynamics Podcast. We always look forward to hearing your thoughts in our episodes and sharing the different ways in which you're using what you've learned. You can also help support Classroom Dynamics with as little as $3 a month at classroomdynamicspodcast.buzzsprout.com. Once again, I'd like to thank Sean McDonough, the Corporate and Member Engagement Coordinator Coordinator for NYSCATE, for joining us today on Classroom Dynamics. It's been a pleasure having you on. I can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks.
Same here. Take care now.
And that brings us to the end of this episode of Classroom Dynamics, where knowledge and inspiration meets innovation. I hope you've enjoyed today's discussion and found it both insightful and uplifting. As always, my goal is to provide you with practical strategies, engaging stories, and powerful insights that can fuel your motivation as an educator. I believe when knowledge and inspiration do come together, incredible things can happen in your classroom. And for all of you who think it's too late to strengthen your craft, I challenge you to make it your mission to do so. You've worked hard to get to where you are today, and it's never too late to infuse new life into your work. So why not make today that day to do so? I'm Adam Todd, and you've been listening to Classroom Dynamics, a teacher podcast. You can follow Classroom Dynamics on X at Class Dynamics and on Instagram at Classroom Dynamics Podcast. If you haven't already, go to Apple Podcasts and subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. We'll be back soon with more captivating conversations, inspiring stories, and strategies that you can implement into your everyday routines. Until then, keep igniting that spark in your classroom and never stop believing in the incredible impact that you have as an educator. You're more powerful and inspirational than you think. Did you miss our episode with Sophie Young from Kami? Well, if so, join us as Sophie breaks down how Kami can streamline your teaching, boost student engagement, and create more interactive learning environments. From annotating PDFs and providing real-time feedback to seamlessly integrating with platforms like Google Classroom, Sophie shares practical tips and strategies for maximizing Kami's potential in your classroom.
It is. It's really amazing to see when a student finally goes from needing and feeling like they can't do anything on their own, that they do need that crutch, but when you accommodate them appropriately, they are independent learners. They can do this on their own.